in Lewiston. We're going to have our national anthem and our sportsmanship pledge. Of course, this is homecoming day for the Lancers, and we'll be talking about the game right after the national anthem.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As a member of the Niagara Frontier League, I pledge myself to display sportsmanlike conduct at all times and to uphold the high standards of my school. I promise to practice honesty in play, courtesy in conduct, and the respect for all proper authority. Thank you.
Would you remain standing, please, while the Newport Senior High Band, under the direction of Mr. Stephen Brazier, play the Star Spangled Banner and the Newport Alma Mater.
Now we're going to hear the Lewiston Porter alma mater played by the Lewiston Porter Band. You've had the Lewiston Porter alma mater celebrating the homecoming day for the Lancers. George Beck, I'll tell you, Niagara Falls has had some secret practices this week. They went into Sal Magley Stadium behind the walls, and they worked on a shotgun offense.
Well, Bob, I think they're going to need a whole lot, plus a whole lot more today. I look at this game as kind of a David and Goliath situation. Newport coming in really sky high after a very impressive come-from-behind victory against Niagara Wheatfield last week. Of course, Niagara Falls Power Cats haven't scored, as you say, in their last, how many ball games?
3 ball games. They've been shut out. They were shut out by Wheatfield. They were shut out by Lockport, and then last week they were beaten by Nichols. So they have not scored in 12 quarters. And I know Coach Haley has designed this shotgun offense, and he switched Tommy Askler, one of his outstanding offensive linemen, who formerly wore number 70, to tight end. He'll be wearing number 18 in this football game. You are looking at the Niagara Falls defense being introduced by Joe Fargo, who is the public address announcer here at Lewiston Porter. That was Mike Winnie, number 44. Here comes one of their steadiest players, Walter Rivers, also a captain, number 56.
At linebacker, number 60, Steve McGovern.
Steve McGovern, another outstanding defensive player, number 60.
At defensive lineman, number 64, Ed Janice.
Eddie Janice, number 64.
And
Eddie is
number 65, Jonas
5'9", 195-pound senior. And Jonas Batiste. And sometimes he's pronounced Battis, and sometimes he's pronounced Batiste.
Well, it depends on what's
And now,
the English
starting
channel I
lineup.
guess you're on, Bob.
I guess the correct pronunciation is Batista,
For the
George.
Newport
Very
Lancers.
good. It's a situation
Defending
where
champions.
a couple of weeks ago, I think the last time we covered the Niagara
At
Falls
end,
Power Cats,
number 80,
at that time
Jim
we were quite
Ho.
badly racked by some injuries on the team. What's the update on that situation, Bob?
Well, they've had some injuries, and some players have left the team. At that time, they were fighting the flu bug.
At left guard.
But now they seem to be solidified, but the problem is they're playing so many young players, so many sophomores and juniors who really lack experience.
Would you think at this point in the season, with the record that the Power Cats have, Bob, that Coach Haley is possibly just making an investment in the future?
Well, possibly. I think he's going to gamble on this football game. He's going to play this game to win. He may get beaten a lot more soundly than if he would play conservatively, but I think he's going to come out here with a wide open offense, try to build some confidence back in his young team, because if you haven't scored in 3 games, George, you certainly have to have a confidence leg.
They certainly have to be mighty, mighty hungry. So here's the Newport.
At fullback, number 23, Mark Lombardo.
A couple of great touchdown passes last week against Niagara.
At wing back, number 40, Pete Sikoski.
Here comes Pete Sikoski, number 40.
And at running back, number 34, Daryl Johnson.
And of course, their all-purpose back, Daryl Johnson, number 34.
Lawler.
Daryl did not have the kind of game we expected him to have against Niagara Wheatfield, but he was a dominant factor on defense. And of course, it was Walker and Egan who told the story in that stunning come-from-behind victory by the Lancers. The Lancers have won the toss, and they will receive to start this football game.
Well, setting the stage on the field, Bob, it's, I think you'd have to say an ideal football day. You've got a wind
We
of
have
about 10 to
2
12 miles
Newport
an hour out of
homecoming
the
pennants
southeast.
left up in the press box,
looks
dollar
like
piece.
it's in excellent
Light them
condition.
up and
I
show
really
your
don't
support
think
for
weather's going to be a
homecoming,
factor
please.
out here at all today.
2 left, $1 each.
I imagine a little later on in the day, George, we may get some rain. Rain is forecast for later on in the day. Now the teams are going to switch sides as Niagara Falls, after losing the toss, has decided to defend the goal to our right. And of course, that is their option. Lewiston Porter, I imagine, will come out and try to keep the ball on the ground, give the ball to Johnson, try to grind out some big yardage with his running, and take control of the game early. Niagara Falls, on the other hand, will try to come out in this new shotgun formation, and I think they're going to throw the ball on almost every down. So it should be an exciting football game, but as George described it at the onset, Niagara Falls is at a decided disadvantage. They're playing on the road, and they have not played well in 3 straight weeks. Roger Smith, who is the sophomore quarterback for Coach Haley, also kicks off. Roger has a great future ahead of him in the game of football. He's also an outstanding academic student at Niagara Falls High School. And there's the kick, a good one by Smith, right to Daryl Johnson at the 8-yard line. And Daryl comes right up the middle with the football and gets it out to the 31-yard line, where the Lewiston Porter Lancers will start their offense.
Run back on the opening kickoff as he took that ball on about his 9-yard line after a very respectable kickoff. So 1st and 10, the game is underway from Berkeley Field here at Newport High School.
Stevie McGovern, number 60, made the tackle. And now we are going to look at the Lancers on offense. Jimmy Walker is the quarterback. Sikoski is one of the blocking backs, along with Clawson, and the running back that will feature is Daryl Johnson. He has the football right now, and on a dive, he gets maybe to the 32-yard line. Walter Rivers was right there to make the stop, and Johnston actually really never got started on that play.
If that first hit was any indication of things to come today, that was a rather crisp confrontation for the opening series.
It'll be 2nd down from the 32-yard line. Jimmy Walker looks over the defense. Same formation as the previous play. And this time they run wide with Johnston. He's got some blocks this time, and he comes upfield and breaks a couple tackles, and finally is knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Niagara Falls. A fine run by Johnson, a 1st down for the Lancers.
Number 34 for Niagara Falls, Bob. I haven't got their lineup in front of me.
It's the first attempt for Newport.
The rest of the guys can come up and lay the tackle on him, but I tell you, he was 1 step away from going all the way.
That was James McCray that George mentioned, who slowed down Johnston. He got a beautiful block up front. to set him free, and then he made the yardage on his own as he broke a couple tackles. Now he goes way out here in motion, and they get right up the middle to Sikowski, and Sikowski gets a couple yards, crosses the 45-yard line, gets down to about the 43-yard line where he's stopped by Winnie, number 44.
Interesting, Bob, to take a look at the defensive backfield of the Power Cats.
A gain of 2 yards, second down and 8.
That Newport might pass.
That's exactly right, George. They are bunched up very close. They are guarding against the prime offensive weapon that the Lancers have, and that's Daryl Johnston. Johnston goes in motion again. And they give to Sikowski, and Sikowski drags a couple people all the way down to the 35, 34-yard line.
Bob, he was stopped about 3 yards short of where they're going to spot the ball. He got the rest of that yardage and the first down all on his own.
Dennis Mohr, number 30.
That was Dennis Mohr, number 30, who had Sikowski by the ankles. This is the kind of attack that we told you the Lancers would come out in. They will run the football. They will dominate this game on the ground if they can. They're going to try it with Johnston around the end. He gets a block, and he falls down on his own, or else he may have had himself gotten into the end zone on that play because he had a blocker out in front of him.
He just got tripped up by number 28 for Niagara Falls.
Tripped up by number 28, Frank Gabriel.
That was Frank Gabriel, or Gabrielli, who made the stop on Johnston, who really lost his balance after he got to the 30-yard line. It'll be second down for the Lancers. They've had the ball. They took it on their 9, ran it back to the 32, and they've kept the ball on the ground and the entire way here. They go right up the middle with Sikowski. They get to the 25-yard line. They are controlling the line of scrimmage.
Tackled by number 30.
They are running the clock down in the first quarter. They have not looked to throw a pass. They have sent Johnston in motion. Now the referee is going to call a timeout. We're going to have an equipment repair with Sikowski.
Timeout. Official timeout.
On November 8th, you can help change Niagara Falls.
Well, it's been Johnston to the right and left and Sikowski up the middle. That's been the offense for the Lancers, and they move the ball very effectively. They have a third down and short. They're going to throw here. They got a man wide open, and it's complete at the 20-yard line. He cuts into about the 16-yard line. That was Hull, Jimmy Hull, who caught the pass for the first down.
Bob, I was just putting my copy away from Merv Cook's commercial announcement there, and I was
First and 10 for Newport at the Niagara Falls 15-yard line.
It might be just about the time to throw a pass.
Well, they went to their split end. Jimmy Hull, he was wide open, caught the ball at the 20, and danced his way to the 16-yard line. So they are varying their attack, are the Lancers. They were strictly on the ground. Now they have thrown one pass. There is a play that looked like they might have got off on the wrong start, but Johnston still struggles his way to the 13-yard line.
That's the same play that you saw about 3 plays ago, and I think it's going to be a successful weapon for Newport all afternoon, Bob.
Number 34, James McCray.
James McCray made the tackle, number 34. The play actually got started late with the quarterback getting the snap a little late, but Johnston, who can run with great power, made the 3 yards. It's going to be second down. They move the ball maybe to the 12-yard line, so it'll only be 6 yards to go for a first down for the Lancers. The quarterback is Walker. He sends Johnston in motion. He gives to Sikowski, and Sikowski gets down to the 5-yard line.
Sikowski found a nice hole up the middle, and maybe
Mike Winnie, 44 on the tackle again.
We have an injured Niagara Falls player. Winnie, number 44, made the stop.
Holding a knee, Bob. He might have just taken a shot down there. Certainly hope it's nothing more serious than that.
Vince Lorendi is on the field with trainer John Pacifico to look at the injured player, who we cannot identify at this point in time. But the Lancers have really controlled the ball. They got it on the 31, ran Johnston on a couple plays, hit Sikowski up the middle, threw one pass, and they have moved the ball now to the 5-yard line of Niagara Falls, have had the ball for the entire first quarter.
7:51 left to go in the first
cheerleaders
quarter.
are separated from the crowd, selling carnations. Please help
That was Dennis Mohr, number 30, one of the better defensive backs for Niagara Falls, who is injured.
Niagara Falls.
He looks like he's hurt more than just a little bit, too. I would guess that he took
Timeout for a measurement.
just below the knee.
Toliano, number 12, is going to come in the game to take Mohr's place, and now we're going to have a measurement at the 5-yard line to see if it's a first down. And it is.
First down. Newport.
The Lancers have controlled the line of scrimmage. Their offensive line has done an outstanding job in this series. They are blocking very effectively for Johnston and Sikowski. And Sikowski and Johnston are getting about 4 or 5 yards every time they carry the ball.
What would you suggest for an offensive play on this?
Well, I would say Johnston will get the ball on a pitch here. Here it is. Here's Johnston with the block. Johnston is at the 3. Johnston's in the end zone for the touchdown. 5-yard run by Johnston.
That's 2 for 2, Bob. You predicted a heck of a play last week, as I recall, on here you are again. So Newport draws first blood in the game.
Daryl Johnston on a 5-yard touchdown run with Joe Wistrova, number 85, and number 23, Mark Lombardo leading the way.
That was a 69-yard drive, highlighted by Johnston's 5-yard run. Now we're going to have the extra point attempted by Johnston. He can make it 7-0. Walker will hold. And we have 7:28 remaining in the first quarter. Now the pass from center and the kick. It's long enough, and it is good. And Johnston has converted, and it's 7-0. Give a break. All right, let's take a commercial break and come right back.
We have an automobile that
All right, we're going to come back and we're going to see Johnston, who does about everything, as you will notice, as this game continues. He scored a touchdown on a 5-yard run, kicked the extra point, and now he will kick off. Number 34, Daryl Johnston, who also will be a prime defender for Coach Lou Carreri's defense here at Lewiston Porter.
Well, now we're going to get an opportunity, Bob, for the first time today to see the Niagara Falls Power Cats offense that you have told us about. The secret weapons, the wide-open offense. We'll see what happens.
Now their defense could not hold the Lancers, and now Johnston's kick is going to come short and be returned from about the 18-yard line, and that's Gabriel, Frank Gabrielli, who gets the ball out to the 30-yard line.
Frank Gabriel on a return for Niagara Falls. We had
that was number 80, Jimmy Hall, who made the tackle. Now, we'll look at Niagara Falls for the first time on offense. Roger Smith will be the quarterback. Number 46, Cicero, should be the chief running back. And remember, number 70, Tom Askler, has gone to tight end and is now wearing uniform number 18. There you can see Smith in the shotgun formation. He throws on first down to Askler. And Askler makes the reception for about a 6-yard gain.
On the tackle, number 57.
Of course, that's Askler's first reception of the year because this is his first game at tight end.
92 for Newport coming hobbling off.
Gain of 5 yards.
Yeah, we got an injured Lewiston Porter player.
Second down and 4.
It'll be second down. There's the handoff to Cicero, and Cicero gets close to the 40-yard line, maybe to the 38, where it'll be third down for Niagara Falls.
Nothing fancy about that play, just a slant to the inside.
And number 53, Todd Fushlock.
Daryl Johnston has come into the football game to play defense for the Lancers on third down. Niagara Falls has stayed with the shotgun. Cicero is right behind Smith, the quarterback. At the fake, and then they go to Smith. A nice run by Smith for the first down.
Roger Smith on the carry.
Right.
Got up for the first down. Tackled by
a big first down
Johnston and Dick Madsen. We have another car that must
number 54, Palumbo, and number 34, Johnston made the tackle on Smith, but Smith made a first down. Niagara Falls has the ball at the 43-yard line. They picked up 13 yards in this series. They fake. There's a flag down. Smith is looking downfield. He throws. He's got a man, and it is picked off. It is picked off by Daryl Crane, number 24. But there is a flag down on the play.
Flag on the play.
The way all the players are reacting, it looks like it's going to be against the Niagara Falls Power Cats.
Yes, it's going to stand, George. Crane's interception will stand, and the Lancers will have the ball at their own 20-yard line as number 24, Daryl Crane, picked off Smith's long throw intended downfield for Toliano.
Will take over on the interception by Daryl Crane. First and 10 at the 20-yard line.
So we've got 5 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first quarter, and
we have another car that must be moved. It's in the fire lane, a white Oldsmobile. License plate 792.
They made a first down in the series, but then when they went for all the marbles on that pass play, Daryl Crane picked it off.
Please move your car to the fire zone.
Good looking pass all the way. Just overthrown him a bit, and a very fast defender back there intercepting.
Here comes Johnston. He's stopped by McCray. Or is he stopped by McCray? No, he isn't stopped by McCray. Now we got a penalty flag on a late hit as Johnston took McCray and 2 other tacklers with him, got to the 30, and then a late hit will give him 15 more yards. We'll give the Lancers 15 more yards.
I'll tell you, he earned the last 5 of what he got the hard way, Bob. He's getting 15 now, possibly even a little harder than that.
Outstanding run by Johnston.
Personal foul against Niagara Falls. It'll be a first and 10 for Newport at their 45-yard line.
Somebody made sure he was going to stay down when they got him there.
So the Lancers, who have had everything their own way in this first quarter, we have 5 minutes and 25 seconds to play. The Lancers lead 7-0, and they're moving with the football again after the interception by Crane. Johnston is not in motion that time as they go straight up the middle to Sikowski. Sikowski maybe picked up a yard or 2. Eddie Janice made the tackle. It's going to be second down and about 7 from the 47-yard line of the Lancers.
That must be moved as a red pickup truck, license 89.
The Lancers, of course, have to win this football game and then play a key game against LaSalle. And, of course, a lot will depend on what LaSalle does with Niagara-Wheatfield. And if you're watching this game on Saturday, you can see the LaSalle-Niagara-Wheatfield game right after this contest. Once again, McCray was in on a tackle, number 34.
McCray with a fine effort to, for the first time today, hold Johnson at no gain.
So it'll be third down. And, of course, the game, the Niagara-Wheatfield game against LaSalle will be shown again on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. So if you're watching this game, stay tuned for the, on Saturday that is, stay tuned for the Niagara-Wheatfield LaSalle game, which will follow immediately. Third down. Here is a good rush by Rivers. Let's see, can he get him? Yeah, oh, what a play by Rivers. Yes, sir, great defensive play by Walter Rivers on quarterback Walker. That's the best defensive play the Power Cats have come up with in a long time, George.
Bob, you're not going to see too many.
Lost of 3 yards. It'll be 4th down and 13.
I'll tell you, that was a fine effort by Rivers.
That's one thing that Niagara-Wheatfield could not do all last week. They could not tackle Walker when he was looking for time, and of course when he got that extra time, he was able to make the completions and the completions that counted because they came from behind to beat Wheatfield in an exciting football game right here on Cable 3. Here's Johnston's very short kick that McCray says he'll fair catch, and then picks up on a bounce.
Changed his mind, Bob.
And he's tackled right on the run, yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah, you can change your mind. The flag is down now. Let's see.
I don't think he can. He called for a fair catch and then picked that ball up and started to run with it. I don't think that's legal.
Well, let's see. If he called for a fair catch, he cannot run with the football. That's correct, George.
Looks like they're going to tack on about.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Okay, so we've got 3:14 left to go in the first quarter. As
5-yard penalty against Niagara Falls. Illegal fair catch signal.
Yeah, now that could be confusing because, you know, when you mentioned about the fair catch, the problem was that McCray did not catch the ball. Then he picked it up and he started to run, which you cannot do. And, of course, the Power Cats were penalized 5 yards on the play. If you could do that, you could trick a lot of teams.
Yes, indeed. Rob Riddick would be up there, way up there in the stats, wouldn't he?
And there'd be a lot of dead running backs too, because after you fool a couple teams once, I'm sure you'd have a lot of problems doing it again.
Confucius say, man bites dog the first time, it's the dog's fault.
And man bites dog the second time?
It's the man's fault.
All right. Roger Smith's going to run the ball out of the shotgun. He's going to get maybe a yard to the 26-yard line. Sikowski, who plays both ways along with Johnston, made the tackle, number 40.
Notice the yard markers, Bob. They had them set up originally after the penalty, 1st and 10, but it was supposed to have been 1st and 15, which they did correct. So now we're looking at about 2nd and 14.
That's right. That's right. That penalty came and will now cause the Niagara Falls team to have to go 15 yards for a first down. As Smith throws to his man Askler, and Askler picks off his second pass of the game.
On the reception, Johnston on the tackle.
Askler, and twice it's worked. You know, that pass is the type of play, though, that could be extremely vulnerable.
Gain of 5 yards, 3rd down and 9.
Of course, it's a rather safe pass. It's to the tight end who blocks and then comes off the line of scrimmage. And you don't.
The linebacker laying off just right. He's going to go all the way with the pass.
Oh, if you go to the well too often on anything, you may have a problem. This is a big 3rd down now. If the Falls wants to hold on to the football, they throw over the middle. This is going to be picked up. No.
Oh, did he throw into a crowd?
Yeah, he threw into a crowd, all right. And one of the difficulties when you overthrow a man is you have a very good chance of having it intercepted. That was to Chamberlain. He had no chance of getting the ball. We have 2:07 remaining in the first quarter from Harry Blakesley Field, where the Lancers, celebrating their homecoming, lead 7-0.
4th down and about 9 yards to go. So once again, the Niagara Falls offense brought down.
Smith is going to punt. Number 8, the quarterback. Pretty good kick by Smith. Let's see if he gets the bounce. Johnston's going to let it roll dead at the 31-yard line, where the Lancers will start their offense. They lead 7-0 on a 69-yard drive, capped by a 5-yard run by Daryl Johnston.
Well, it's been all Newport so far. Time of possession has been very one-sided. We've seen 2 series of downs for the Power Cats so far. The first series ending in that interception. Second period bogging down. But it got off to a kind of a rough start. When you got 1st and 15 back around your own 20-yard line, you've got an uphill road to hoe.
Especially when you want to come out throwing and open up your offense. When you have your goal line at your back, it's kind of tough. They have to get to midfield or into Lewiston territory before they can really open up that offense. Walker, who has only thrown 1 time in this game, gives to Johnston. There's the blocking in front of him. He runs over a couple people, still runs over a couple more. And then Gabrielli, number 28, comes up and makes the tackle.
Nice gain by Johnson.
Frank Gabriel.
Four guys had him really horse-collared and
Joe
slipped away. We got to find out if he's got that. Who was that pass catcher?
Jonas Petit on the tackle, out to the 50-yard line.
Stuff on. Johnson must have the slippery stuff.
Oh, you mean
1st and 10.
You mean Lester Hayes,
he used to come out looking like a glue pot.
The defensive back for the Oakland, or now the Los Angeles Raiders. They'll be on Sunday night, big game against Dallas. There's a flag, and there's a running play with Johnston, almost horse-collared. He still gets 5 yards, but we may have a penalty against the Lancers here. I think we're going to have a procedure penalty.
Initial indication by the sideline judge here that it is against, a procedure penalty against Newport. So that'll take 5 yards.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like your cooperation
5 on the run, and they're going to get penalized.
again in having the cars removed from the fire lane.
And that loss of 5 yards.
You know, George, that Lester Hayes wearing that stickum, that's outlawed now by the National Football League, and of course, he was the man responsible for it. Although in the earlier days, the Oakland Raiders, when they were the Oakland Raiders, always had players like Fred Bolitnikoff and receivers who would wear a lot of, whatever you want to call it, to help them catch the football. So we've had a lot of strange rules this year. We had a pine tar rule with George Beck, or George Brett, rather.
My other brother.
Yeah, George Beck, that would be something if you could hit like, can you hit like George Beck?
No, I hit like George Beck.
That's the problem. You got to hit like George Brett.
You got it.
Here's Walker under a rush, throwing, and it is caught by Egan. What a catch by Egan at the 27-yard line.
Falls defenders on the play who looked rather tentative, and it looked like they had plenty of time to get through that ball. I don't think that pass should be caught.
Well, one of the things about the pass reception, Niagara Falls is going to call a timeout, George, and we're going to take a... No, we're going to stay right here. All right.
We're in real good shape commercially. Talking about George Brett.
Again, we'd
See
like
that
to
commercial that he's doing right now for one of the express mail services?
Yeah, yeah. And he says maybe he should have used pine tar. Well, we were talking about that reception. The best thing about the reception, George, was Egan's ability to stay in bounds. He was right along the sidelines there, and he sort of tiptoed, caught the pass, and then stepped out of bounds. He had both feet in bounds, made a good reception. So we have this timeout with 1:07 remaining in the first quarter.
7-0 in favor of the Newport Lancers. And Bob, we might take this opportunity, as long as we're here during this timeout, to talk about some of the upcoming things on Cable 3 with the big election year that we've got coming up. Of course, we'll be down at City Hall live starting at 9 o'clock on election night, November 8th, and bringing all of our Niagara Frontier cable subscribers the returns as fast as we possibly can, and that should be coming in pretty hot and heavy this year.
Well, I know on your issue update show, you have a series beginning with the candidates, and there's going to be something on Monday night.
Monday night again will be Barbara Girasitano, or Girasitano as she likes to be called, and Dan Bazzani, two Republican candidates for council. And then, of course, next week we'll talk about that right after this play.
All right, let's look at the Lancers come out of the huddle with Walker, the quarterback. He just threw a big first down pass to Egan. He goes back to Johnston. Johnston runs away from a man. Johnston's going to go into the end zone here. I don't believe they're going to catch him. No, it's a touchdown.
Once Johnson got that corner battle,
yep. He turned the corner. He beat the contained man, Derek Harris, number 38. And once he got outside of Harris, he went the rest of the way for the touchdown.
Johnson right now, Bob, we've got him logged in unofficially with 9 runs for 92 yards.
Wow, he's almost got 100 yards in the first quarter of play. He's got 2 touchdowns, and now he's going to try his second extra point of the game. He made one earlier after he ran 5 yards for the first touchdown of the game.
Leading the way.
There's the kick, and it's high, and it is good. And he almost kicked that one. He got great height on that ball. It's 14-0. The Lancers have struck again with just less than a minute to play in the first quarter. They scored at the 7:28 mark, and then approximately 7 minutes later, or 6 minutes later, they came back to score their second touchdown.
Bobby has been an extremely long first quarter in terms of running time, and it's going to be an interesting ball game. Niagara Falls will have 58 seconds to see if they can get on the board in this quarter. Of course, the good thing about it is the fact that if they do have possession at the end of the quarter, they will retain it. There's no pressure. Time is not a factor here.
That's right.
Moving the ball down the field.
Niagara Falls has shown some ability to move the football with their passing game, but they haven't had any consistency with it. This is a very short kick. McCray should return this, and he can return this one. And he gets maybe to the 32-yard line.
Tackled at the 32-yard line by Sikowski.
So Niagara Falls has relatively good field position here at their 32-yard line. They have been successful throwing the ball to Asklar, but when they have tried to throw the ball over the middle or deep, they've run into problems. 14-0, the Lancers lead. Daryl Johnston's having quite a first quarter. He scored 2 touchdowns and kicked 2 extra points. Smith has got a man out here. He throws to him. It's Randolph, and it's incomplete.
Again, he's a little bit too pumped up. He overthrew his receiver for, that's the third time on the ball.
Randy Gorski on the coverage. We have a flag on the play.
We have a penalty flag down on that particular play, George. That, on the coverage was Randy Gorska, who made that interception last week against Niagara Wheatfield and then ran it back for the cinching touchdown.
The officials are talking
penalty
to the Newport Lancers,
will
so
be
this penalty is obviously going against the power.
Against Niagara Falls.
And it looks like a
15-yard major penalty.
No, it's, yep, and it's an ineligible receiver downfield.
Isn't that a little harsh, 15 yards for that bad?
Well, it's a rule that prevents the men from going downfield and blocking, and that time I didn't see anybody down there. I was looking at Randolph.
I was watching Smith on his rollout. He looked like he was a little late for developing.
Here is Smith running the football, and he's got some good yardage. And he gets outside, and he's got one man to beat, Crane. And can he beat him? Yes, he can. Smith may go all the way. Oh, he's tripped up. What a run by Roger Smith.
Just barely tripped up.
Roger
He was
Smith,
literally
the
tripped up
quarterback.
because the man never laid a hand on him. He did it with a foot.
Oh, that's a great run, though, George. He came out of the pile. He's only a sophomore. He's 5'9", 150-pound back, and he really bursted out of there, and I guess he stepped out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
Lewiston Porter 42-yard line, first and 10.
I was about to say was probably
A 40-yard run.
gain and equaled all the other gains of the last few games by any runner for Niagara Falls.
For a moment there, it looked like Niagara Falls was going to score their first touchdown in 3 games. Smith carries the ball again. One of the reasons for going to this type of offense is to get Smith into the game more, get him into the running part of the game. We're gonna, let's see, I think the first quarter is gonna run out on us.
7 seconds, 4 seconds on the clock now, Bob, so it looks like it's gonna run out and we'll take it from there.
At the end of
That is the end of the first quarter, with the Lancers leading by a score of 14-0. We're gonna take a commercial break and come right back.
Remind everyone again that
All right, now Niagara Falls will retain the football. They will have a 2nd down and 6 yards to go after Smith made 4 yards on the last play. They are in Lewiston Porter territory for the first time in the football game, thanks to that fine run by quarterback Roger Smith. Roger Smith, number 8, has Cicero, number 46, directly behind him. He is going to throw to Randolph.
Nice catch
pass
by
is
Randolph.
complete to number 36, Tony Randall. Number 11, Brett Jaffe on the tackle.
It is. The ball is moved to the 30-yard line.
76, Lou May.
And this drive is obviously the best one that the Power Cats have had in this football game.
Picked up 40 yards thus far on the drive, having taken possession just before the end of the first quarter. Let's see how far we can go with it.
Smith looks and now goes behind Cicero, tries to run out here, and then he's going to be tackled.
Trying to carry, tackled behind the line of scrimmage by a host of Newport players.
I believe, and I think that Newport smelled it out.
Number 54, Dick Maslin, and number 53, Todd Freshlaw.
Maslin and Freshlaw were in on a tackle. They lost on that particular play as Smith tried to get the block from his fullback Cicero. So it'll be 2nd down and 11 with 11:07 remaining in the first half, and the Lancers enjoying a 14-0 lead. There's one that is going to be intercepted. No, it looked like Crane was going to have his 2nd interception of the game. The pass was intended for Chamberlain. Crane was the closest defender to the football.
I think that ball may have been tipped just a little bit by the first Newport defender that was in front of the receiver, intended receiver. So you're looking at 3rd down and about 11 yards to go for the Power Cats.
It is now 3rd down, as George mentioned. Again, we will probably see quarterback Smith throw the football. He is looking, he's getting a rush, he throws short, it's picked off by Johnston. Now Johnston has done everything in the football game. He has scored 2 touchdowns, he has kicked off, he has kicked 2 extra points, and now he has intercepted a pass.
Smith was running for his life on that play, and I really think he should have either thrown it away or just kept it himself and see how far he could go. Because the Newport defenders were definitely closing in on everybody that had a chance of being involved in that play, Bob.
Yeah, Niagara Falls has success with the short passes, but anytime they go over 10 yards, it looks like they're going to have a problem against this Newport defense.
And here comes Mr. Walker and Johnson and company once again, starting this time from their own 31-yard line.
Walker, the quarterback, Goes to Johnston. Johnston hurdles his way over a couple people. Gets out to the 35-yard line. The offensive line, as we mentioned, for the Lancers has done a fine job of blocking. Dennis Egan, number 20, comes back into the game. Pat Krozik's in the game, number 22.
Our Cats' defensive line is definitely going to earn their money out there today, Bob.
It's second down. The Lancers with a 14-0 lead and the football. Have quarterback Walker under a rush, throw, and it's picked off by McCray. And now a flag goes down.
Flag on a play.
Nice reception by McCray.
You see another flag coming up, Bob. I think there was a little bit of skirmishing way after that play had ended, so it's going to be
flag on a
interesting to see which
play.
way this one develops.
That really wasn't a very good throw by quarterback Walker.
We've seen him do better, haven't we?
He threw that ball right into the teeth of the defense, and McCray made a nice reception
James McCray
on the interception.
For Niagara Falls.
And now we're going to have a discussion with the Niagara Falls team because the penalties evidently are going to go against the Lancers. There are 2 flags down on the field.
Interesting, though, the referee threw the ball back to Jimmy Walker back here. I've never seen that done before. When they were standing there discussing it, they threw the ball back to Jimmy Walker. He's standing out on the field with the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
Or one of them, at least.
We had another ineligible receiver downfield penalty, and then we had the interception, and now we got a personal foul that's going to be tacked on after the interception. So Niagara Falls will have very good field position. They will be at the 26-yard line of the Lancers.
Well,
a first and 10 for Niagara Falls.
They say in golf, it looks good on the scoreboard, or on the scorecard.
25-yard line.
So Niagara Falls, if they want to get back into the football game, must score here.
For illegal man downfield, which was declined, and another penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, which was accepted.
Now, the handoff goes to Cicero, and he burst up the middle, and he gets some good yardage.
Hey, shades of Daryl
Rick
Johnson.
Cicero on the carry.
Cicero with a fine effort to pick up about 8 yards on that play.
Maslin and Crane on the tackle.
Maslin made the stop along with Crane, who had an interception, number 24. Maslin had a good game last week against Niagara Wheatfield, makes a great deal of the tackles for the Lewiston Porter defense. Cicero made a good run. It's second down. And they go this time with Smith, and he is going to be stacked up before he even gets started.
Little play action didn't quite develop that time, Bob. It's a fake up the middle to the first man through. Smith keeping the ball, and he ran head on into the entire line.
He ran head on into Maslin again, number 54, and then Frieschlag was there to help out. So it's third down.
Smith on the
Third
carry.
down, about 3 yards to go from the 19-yard line.
Third down and 4.
Lewiston, here's the big play.
And Smith is going to run the football, and I don't know. Yeah, but that play looked like there was a little confusion on that play because Smith looked like he wanted to throw the ball, and then
It'll be fourth down.
now here comes a host of substitutions in for Lewiston Porters. They want to hold on this fourth down. Obviously,
Within range of a field goal here, Bob.
well, they really don't have anybody that can kick the ball with that kind of accuracy. They're going to go for the first down here. They're down by 14 points. They're going to try to throw to Randolph, and they throw behind them, and the Lancers have held. And the Lancers will take the football over. Brett Jaffe was in on a defensive play that time, but the ball was thrown behind the intended receiver, Randolph.
Randolph made a nice catch the last time he was in that pattern, and this time he just, I think that ball would have been leading him just a little more. He was in good position to make a nice reception again.
So the Lancers commit a turnover, give the ball to Niagara Falls with good field position, but Niagara Falls can't capitalize, and that's why they haven't scored in 3 quarters, or 3 football games in 12 quarters. They have no consistency with their offense. But they're young, and you see Johnston carry for about 4 more yards. McCray, who has had his name mentioned many, many times in this first half, made the tackle.
Johnson now unofficially, Bob, with 11 carries for 103 yards.
Second down and 5.
That's amazing. He may go over 200 yards in this football game.
Definitely got a shot at beating Gagne's mark of last week
Yeah.
for Niagara Wheatfield. ironically, Gagne being named one of the players of the week, even in a losing effort.
And that's right. The big thing there was that Niagara Wheatfield did not win the football game. Now Johnston goes in motion, and Walker's going to throw. He's got a man. Oh, what a try by Egan. Egan is really wrecked.
He would have had that ball because he had it in a nice position. He tipped it up, and he was in a nice position to regain possession on his own. But the shot was timed just right and just took him out of it.
That was Stopa who hit Egan. Egan is a very acrobatic type receiver. He makes some fine catches, and he catches a lot of passes that don't look like they're going to be complete. He helps Walker as a receiver. He is a good receiver.
We had good evidence of that last week watching him score a few beauties.
It's third down, and they fake to Johnston. They're going to try to throw a screen out here to Sikowski. He is going to break a tackle, and let's see, he got a first down out of it as he broke McCovern's tackle and picked up a first down.
Hudson had a good shot at him, and he was rather disgusted with himself after the play when he saw that he got the first down.
Janice had to make the tackle to stop Sikowski, who along with Johnston had been the bulwark of this Lewiston Porter offense. Johnston has made 4 or 5 yards every time he carries the football. This time he makes maybe 3 yards.
Johnston over the right side.
Johnston's favorite
Tackled by a
target
host
is the
of
right guard
Niagara
slot on
Falls
that
players.
Niagara Falls line. There's the left guard of the Niagara Falls line over his right.
Gain of 4 yards, second down and 6.
All day.
Yeah, they run the ball. Lewiston Porter likes to run the ball right. They have good blocking, as we mentioned many, many times, up front. The offensive linemen, of course, don't get much credit. Only when they make a penalty or something do you hear about them, but they do an outstanding job. This is Sikowski, who's had a good game himself. Look at him.
He's close to the 50
He looks like a little bowling ball. It reminds you of Don Nottingham as he bulls his way through there.
Carry tackled by Mike Gabriel.
Sikowski, of course, runs very low to the ground. He's not very big.
Colombo on the blocking on that play.
Colombo
First and 10.
was throwing the blocks that we've been talking about. That's the son of Lenny Palumbo, who was an outstanding football player in his day. Here's a flag going down.
That was an offside. That's going to be an offside. One of the Newport left on the left side of the Newport line. There was a guy that was lined up offside. They were directly out in front of us, and I was waiting to see if the ref was going to.
All right, so George Beck has made his first penalty call of the year. He's got it right too. Yeah, George Beck can't hit like George Brett, but he can see like him.
The eyes haven't gone yet.
He made the right call there. It's a 5-yard penalty. It nullifies the run. It'll be first down for the Lancers.
5-yard penalty offsides again.
Niagara Falls, of course, George, starting to bunch up again with 6:06. You see 3 people come into the game for the Lancers, and one of them is Egan. And I was just going to mention that Niagara Falls is bunched up, and they may be vulnerable for a pass here because there is long yardage for the Lancers to get a first down.
Well, they've dropped one man back as a safety valve for the potential pass. We'll see what happens.
Walker's, yeah, he's in the shotgun. He's going to throw. If he can throw, he gets away and throws off the wrong foot. Oh, let's see, did they make that reception? No, it's picked off. Oh, that's a great play by Stopa, I believe. Number 22 made the interception. That's what happens when you throw off the wrong foot. We're going to come back after this break.
On November 8th, you can help change.
They say Frank Gabrielli made the interception. That's second interception off of Walker. And Smith, oh, is he hit? He is sacked at the 37-yard line.
Number 93 on the quarterback sack.
That was big Steve Schultz who made the sack, and then he tried to do the sack dance.
Mike Murdoch, number 90 on the assist. Schultz on the sack.
And now the Falls, who's picked off 2 passes, they're going backwards.
10 yards, second down and 20.
Second down and 20 yards to go from their own 38-yard line. It's going to be difficult from here on in.
That's a 10-yard loss on the play. There's the draw with the quarterback running the football.
Quarterback draw, he's going to lose
Schultz again on the tackle. Assisted by number 77, Jeff Harvey.
And Harvey was in on the play. You can see the difference, George, between the offensive line play for Niagara Falls and the offensive line play for Lewiston-Porter.
First off, Bob, I don't think they've got near the size.
No, they don't. And, of course, they are not giving the quarterback, Smith, who is operating out of a shotgun, enough time to get his plays developed. He's had to throw the ball in a hurry. They come with a blitz. Smith throws to, Asler drops a pass that he probably should have caught at the 50-yard line. The ball was thrown a little bit behind him, but it was a catchable ball.
Again, Smith put that ball just a little bit behind him. Bob, going back to the last play, I am not that strong of an advocate of a quarterback draw out of a shotgun formation anyway.
Yeah, it's...
We have the 4-minute warning being given to both
taking the
benches.
ball
4
right
minutes.
off center, as far as I'm concerned.
We'd like to announce again, there are still 2 cars parked in the fire lane.
Well, a draw play is, of course, designed against a rush. You're looking, it's like a screen pass. You're trying to beat the rush there, and
when the runner's 5 yards back to begin with.
yeah, it's a problem. It's a good point. Johnston, is he going to return this? Yes, he's going to try. He's going to go the, that's a nice play by McCray. That is a nice play by James McCray. I'll tell you, McCray's had a very, very good afternoon in this first half.
I think Johnson was trying to do just a little bit of showboating on that one, Bob. He's on a roll today, and he was going to see how far he could go by cutting back, and he didn't quite get around to that.
We have the Lewiston-Porter band lined up at, that's a very impressive band that they have here at Lewiston-Porter. They're in the end zone. They're going to be performing for the halftime show as we look at the Lancers come out of the huddle after the short kick by Chamberlain. This is Johnston. Now the Falls is doing a lot of gang tackling.
For Niagara Falls.
They were led by Janice 64. We have about 3 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the first half. The Lancers scored in the first quarter with 7 minutes and 28 seconds remaining when Johnston went 5 yards. Then he kicked the extra point. They came back with just a minute remaining in the first quarter when Johnson went 23 yards, and then he kicked the extra point to make it 14-0, and that's the score in the football game. Here is, what a play this time by the Niagara Falls defense, and that was McGovern, number 60. They're keying on Johnston now.
I would say they're almost double teaming him.
So one of the obvious calls here, George, would be a fake to Johnston coming through the middle, and then a pass, a play-action pass fake, in other words, to Johnston, because the Niagara Falls defenders are moving with Johnston. So that should freeze about 7 or 8 people if they run that kind of a play. Let's see. They're going to go straight back. It looks like a screen. It is a screen to Sikowski, and he's going to lose yardage.
Niagara Falls had it diagonal.
Sikowski on the reception.
Well, that was like a looping pass by Walker. And although Sikowski caught the football, McCray again was in on a play. It's 4th down, and Johnston will probably be punting from inside his 20-yard line.
In the case of Lewiston offense just getting tired of being out there so much, or the Lewiston defenders are starting to get hip to what they're doing?
Well, I think Lewiston-Porter hasn't varied their offense that much,